Hi, I'm Danny,
Hi, I'm Mel.
and we're the Sheehan sisters. If you haven't seen our faces before, we like to do podcast and commentary style videos on different topics we like to talk about.
So, as always, grab your coffee, tea, water, your beverage of choice, grab some snacks because we have a lot to talk about today. Flawless,
Flawless.
seamless.
I do want to start off by saying Nala gave me a cut on my face. She's an op, okay? She knew I was filming today, so the day before, she wants to take her paw, scratch up my face. But it's fine. Still gorgeous, nevertheless.
Yes. I want to say we are a little behind this month. It's
It'll be about what, end of May by the time this comes out.
no, we're gonna start hustling them out, okay? You guys are getting videos back to back to back.
Well, you know what? I feel like we were putting the dates in, and I feel like we have to start doing that again because we were talking about a topic in one of our pre-recorded episodes, which should be out by the time you see this. And
Are we starting with that topic?
yeah, let's start with that. But Mel and I always say we're what did you say write to me in the text?
We're always ahead, but yet we're still behind. And we will make these videos, but not get them up until like 2 weeks later because we have different schedules and we're working our normal jobs and we don't always have time to focus on editing. And we'll be talking about a subject. And then all of a sudden, the whole internet's talking about it. And we're like, no, we were first. I swear to you.
We really enjoy filming. We hate editing ourselves. We hate it.
Yeah. And I know people are like, you have to love every aspect of it. And there are times where I'm enjoying the editing process, but we get frustrated because we're watching ourselves over and over again. And then we start to pick ourselves apart. And it does help having a partner doing this because then it's like, okay, I need to take a break, you take over. And like we kind of try to switch back and forth. But then there are times where we're both just frustrated and then we leave the project alone for a few days.
Some days I'm like, I can't do it. Like, and it's nothing, I don't think what we're saying is boring. Like, while I'm editing, I'll be laughing and I'm like, we're hilarious. Like, this is so good. It's just like, I have to be in the proper mental space to listen to myself.
And we've been putting out like, we'll put out sometimes like 2 hour videos and like we're editing over 3 hours of footage. So that takes a lot. And you know, we're not getting paid. So like obviously there are people who have editors who are getting paid, who have a deadline, and I think that makes it not less serious. Like we do care about the channel.
Only the money will motivate me.
Right, you know what I'm saying? If someone was like, if my boss is like, you have this deadline, and you're like, fuck, I need to get paid, so I gotta get the deadline. Money is a big motivation, and that goes into some of the topics we'll talk about later down the road.
You know what? We use that expression frequently, but we never use that in our everyday life, and I hate it.
What expression?
Later down the road. No, I hate it. I hate when I say it too.
We're on a journey, okay? And the pit stops are later down the road. I don't know. Anyway, in our last episode,
She really tried.
I don't know what you're criticizing right now. Anyway, can I go? Can I speak?
Yes.
In our last episode, we spoke about Olivia Rodrigo bringing back the baby doll dress.
To be fair, we're in the middle of editing that, so I don't know how much of it we'll keep.
Right? I'm like, I don't really remember everything we said, but
We decided we wanted to revisit that topic because we realized that it has been a conversation on the internet. And I know people are not gonna like our take, to be honest.
Yes. And, since you said you want to put the date in, today is May 13th, and we filmed that at the beginning, like the first week of May, we filmed that episode that is already out on the channel, just so you guys can see where we're at. But I've been seeing a lot of discourse about it, and there's people on either side. What did you want to say? What update did you want to give on that?
Well, I feel like when we were growing up, we didn't really. I know people were saying that like the punk scene would wear like baby doll dress, and then you have Melanie Martinez who also does like the baby doll style. But I would say when we were younger, we didn't really have any artist we looked up to that was styled like that.
Right.
So I feel like right now we're a little behind with that trend for our own knowledge, I would say. Not that the trend is outdated. I just think we weren't knowledgeable of that trend or that style rather.
Yes, we want women to feel empowered and own their bodies and have bodily autonomy and be able to wear what they want and not be criticized for it. But then we also have to have the awareness of, is it catering and pandering to the male gaze? And is it feeding into the narrative of
The cutesy young girl aesthetic? I just want to say, not that my opinion means anything, I just personally don't like the style. That's not something I didn't wear in my early 20s. I know people get upset when there is discourse like this because it's like, oh, just let her be who she wants to be and wear what she wants to wear. And we totally agree with that, but we also have to remember what industry she's representing. And that's why it's okay to question certain decisions that we're seeing become a trend. So again, people get very upset, but I think it's okay to start questioning, okay, what is this becoming a trend for a reason because the higher powers that be are trying to normalize certain appearances?
she's a young woman in this industry and she was a child star, and you also have to be conscious of, is this a decision she's making for herself, or does she have a team that's telling her to put this image out there?
But people get so offended when there's any sort of constructive criticism around their fave, right? Like nobody's saying anything mean about Olivia Rodrigo, Nobody's saying that she's a bad person or she's this, she's that. We're just questioning the wardrobe for the promotion of her album. Because all of this, you think people just roll out of bed and then that's like, yeah, we're gonna promote my album. No, all of these decisions are intentional, right? She decided she wanted to go with these looks, or her team wanted to go with these looks for the promotion of her album.
Exactly. And I'm seated for her album. I like the song she put out already. I'm excited to hear her album. I think she's a great vocalist. And yeah, it's not a critique of who she is as a person. It's just a critique on, why are we bringing this style back?
Right, and we did see that it was a version of feminine empowerment, right? And has been, all of these styles are just cycles, right? Nothing's new, we know that. I wanted to have an opinion on it, and I don't really feel that deeply where I'm losing sleep over this. And I will probably forget about this after we're done editing this episode. But I do want to mention, I'm doing a quick search, which we did say we were going to deep dive about this.
Right, we did pull up an article in our last episode, which again, we're not sure what made that episode or not yet, but I did pull up an article briefly.
Well, it says in 1957 and 1958, the Spanish designer Cristobal Balenciaga introduced his renditions of
Not
the baby.
Balenciaga.
Let's do our research first, right? Before we start saying women empowerment. Let's remember who's creating these fashion trends.
Didn't they already have a fucking scandal about harming children? And again, there are artists who take back, right? It's the women who make it empowerment, right? There's the artists, like I mentioned before, who take it back and style it differently to be like, I'm not a little girl. And that is the point I feel like I'm trying to get across.
I just want to read a couple more. A couple more lines from this. Balenciaga chose the silhouette as it already often featured an obscured waist. The exaggeration of this feature perfectly complemented his wish to experiment with proportions and blur the waistline. The name was popularized by the 1956 movie Baby Doll, starring Carol Baker in the title role as a 19-year-old nymphette. And then at the bottom of this section says baby dolls became a prominent part of the kinder whore look during the early to mid 1990s due to the popularity of Riot Girl and grunge performers. And they mentioned Courtney Love and Kat Bajland. So sorry if I said that wrong.
And that movie that you mentioned is about a 19-year-old who marries a 50-year-old, and he makes her sleep in a crib and wear these baby doll dresses and basically infantilizes her and beats her. And very weird fucking movie.
I do want to read one more line, so sorry to cut you off.
You're good. I just wanted to give more context into what that movie was about.
Says Kinda Whore fashion is based around a childlike fashion silhouette and accessory in combination with punk fashion's rips and tears. Common items include torn, rip-tight or low-cut baby doll and Peter Pan collar dresses, knee socks, heavy makeup with dark eyeliner. So it's in the definition that this style is childlike. I'm not sure why we can just call it, what's the expression, a spade of spades of what this fashion is supposed to be representing. It's in the name, it's in the definition.
And that's what it's based on. It's based, like we said in the last episode, it's based on the dresses you would put on a baby doll. And also someone like Shirley Temple, who, if you don't know the history of Shirley Temple, maybe we'll do video on like Hollywood and all of that. But she was also a young child actor who was sexualized at a young age, and she wore those dresses. So again, there is different history behind it, and you have to remember that the women empowerment behind anything is women taking something back and repurposing it. Like the word bitch. Now we're like, hey bitch, what's up bitch? I'm a bad bitch. We're taking it back from men calling us that. But that doesn't mean men can still call us that.
No, of course. And I think we're at a point now, right, where we can have a conversation about these fashion trends and question, okay, just because they did mean this during this time period doesn't mean we have to bring it into our modern world, right? We can still question, why was this a trend, and maybe we should be moving away from it. This is what I'm getting confused by. Why are we defending, if some of us feel like, oh, okay, we should do away with this fashion trend because it infantiles women, then I'm confused why people feel the need to. I get it, you're defending your fave, I get that. No one's attacking Olivia Rodrigo.
Right, and then people are trying to say that people who are attacking it or going against it are sexualizing her, and it's like, no, we're not. They're like, oh, you're the weird one. Why are you thinking of children? And like I just mentioned, that is literally what the dress is called. That is literally what the style is. That's why we're looking back on the history of it to see where it came from, to see where it derives from. And we're learning that it came from a man who was being weird and creepy. So again, these are conversations that need to be had. Like, stop brushing things off to be like, no, you're being weird. No, that's what it is. Like you said, call this spade a spade. Like that's what it is. So how are we going to change the narrative going forward?
I understand that as a movement, right? And I'm all for it, but we're also in a time where we can question things, and instead of reinventing that fashion to be more empowering for women, we can just do away with it, right? Like I think there's so many fashion trends that are still forced upon women that we could do away with. But that's I digress.
Right. But yeah, like I also just think it comes down to the styling choices of it all and how she chooses to style that outfit. And maybe just get rid of the name altogether. Like I think it's fine if a woman wants to wear a short dress. Like, go ahead.
One of the other things you've been a lightning rod over is like the baby doll dress.
That's been making me so upset. Not even for me. Like I don't care. People could say
what does
whatever
it
they
mean
want.
to you? What does
What's
choice
really
mean
like
to you?
disturbing is I feel like I actually I have worn outfits that are like maybe revealing on stage. Like I've been on stage in like a sparkly bra and like little shorts and like, which is my right. That's fun. I felt cool and comfortable in that. And like that wasn't inappropriate, but me like fully covered up in a dress that people deemed to be like childlike was inappropriate. And I just think it just like shows how we just like really normalize pedophilia in our culture. And also it's just is this like rhetoric that we're fed as girls since we're so little, which is like, don't wear that because then a man is going to sexualize your body and it's your fault. Like it's so weird. And I didn't think that I looked sexy in that at all. I was like, this is so cool. I feel like I look like Kathleen Hanna or like Courtney Love, all these people who are my heroes. And I felt cool and comfortable in it. And like, I just think if we start dressing in a way that's like, oh, I don't want some freak to think that I like am sexy like a baby or like some crazy thing like that. Like I just think it's like losing the plot a little bit. You know, I'm just very protective of like younger women and girls, and I don't ever want them to be like fed that rhetoric, I guess.
And also protect their right as they grow up to do
dress
whatever
how
it is, whatever it ends up
it's
being.
like a weird cult. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't be responsible for some guy sexualizing you in a way that was never your intention.
I want to hear what you all think about this.
I think that we've said enough on that topic, but still going along with fashion, I'm going to move on to our next topic. So as mentioned, we are a little behind on things. The Met Gala did happen, and we wanted to talk about it. And I'm someone who used to always get excited about the Met Gala back in the day. I like fashion, and I'd always be excited to see what's happening and what's taking place. And obviously, the more you learn about the world and these elites, you don't want to support these kind of events anymore, especially now that Jeff Bezos has taken over. But before I speak on that, I did just want to say, like, I did look at some of the looks of this year, and I just feel like the creativity has gone out the window. And I've mentioned this before about fashion and, like, the world, how, like, the color is being taken out. And, like, where's the imagination? Where's the creativity? And it just goes to show that you really can't buy those things.
Listen, I'm not super into fashion. I am interested by it because I know that fashion is another sector of art and expression. When I heard that the theme was fashion is art, I was like, okay, let's go. Like we're gonna bring the creativity. I don't know. I think this is what happens to certain creatives is that either they'll get too literal or they'll overthink, and then you're losing the essence of the artistry of the creativity of just exploring,
Right.
having fun with the pieces, with the garments.
Exactly. I would have almost loved to see more literal pieces. Like I saw someone who commented on the looks and saying like, why didn't anyone show up as the Mona Lisa? Like where was, like I just feel like there wasn't any really creativity or like big wow, oh my God, look at this type of outfits. Like it was like, here's my dress or here's my tux. And it was like, you guys have all this money and you're boring.
And I haven't seen every person's representation for this year's theme, but I didn't see representation for like Picasso, Dali. I think they did do some Van Gogh, right? I don't know. It just, I feel like when I mean like literal, I like the literal, but then I feel like some of them didn't go far enough if you were going to be literal and do the painting.
Yeah, I just feel like the Met Gala has gotten so boring over the years. I feel like I said, back in the day, I actually used to be like excited to see the looks because I do still care about the designers and artists that are behind it, even if I don't care about the celebrities themselves. And I don't know what's going on, but that's fine because we don't really need to be supporting. We don't need to be supporting what people are comparing it to the Hunger Games, and they're saying, why am I forgetting? I read the books, I saw the movies. The Capitol. It's the Capitol. The Capitol is having their gala. But while the Met Gala was taking place, there were also protesters outside, and there were also a lot of anti-Met Galas and fundraisers happening to go against the elites. And I feel like that's what we should be supporting. And I saw a lot more creativity and fashion in these other shows than in the original Met Gala.
It's frustrating that industries will always end up choosing money and greed over the integrity of the industry.
Exactly.
This is where we are in this world.
So this was posted by NYC Fashion Diaries, and this was an event called the People's Ball that took place at the Brooklyn Library in New York, and it happened the day before the Met Gala. But I just wanted to show a quick clip of that. Do you see the creativity? Do you see the difference? I know we didn't show a video of the actual Met Gala. You can go research that. But everyone looked different. Everyone had something to bring to the table.
I love that. I need that one guy's blazer ASAP. It's funny because I wanted to wear, this is not I just splattered some paint over one of my jackets, and I was looking for that to wear today, but I think it's in the laundry. So I wanted to present a story by Novara Media. Hours before the 2026 Met Gala, which was sponsored by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, union organizers put on a ball without billionaires in New York, featuring Amazon delivery drivers, warehouse workers, and campaigners. Let's go! And there's a quote from the co-host, Gabriella Carifa Johnson, who said, "Working people are underpaid, undervalued, and underappreciated. Let those billionaires uptown have their Met party. We're going to have something way more fabulous down here."
For years, she worked 10 hours a day, 6 days a week for up to 60 hours, lifting heavy items and working at a fast pace. For so long, it left Samari exhausted and in pain. She's not in pain now. She circulated a petition among her coworkers and filed an OSHA complaint about air quality in the facility, and Amazon had no choice but to respond quickly. Within days of delivering the petition, you better work. Right. Amazon hired a company to clean the AC units and get rid of the mold. She is here today to have a real impact and show others you don't have to be afraid to speak up.
Woo! Amazon is a surveillance company, an immigration enforcement company, a fossil fuel company too. Thank you. From the warehouse floor to your front door to the data centers going up in our neighborhoods, Amazon's reach touches every single one of our lives. And today, the people fighting back on every single one of these fronts are here on this runway. Woo! So let's get into it. Dickie knows that the impersonal quantity over quality culture at Amazon does not stop at the warehouse door.
No.
And you are fabulous, honey.
Fabulous.
She came
Yes.
here and she organized. When Angelina first learned Amazon's plans to build a hyperscale data center across the street from her home, she immediately began to organize.
No. One thing more powerful than a billionaire, and it's a union.
Yes.
Through the power of their union, Jordan and thousands of other doormen in the city just negotiated with luxury landlords and won an amazing union contract that includes pay raises, free health care, pension contribution, and other great benefits. Jordan interacts with Amazon workers every day, and he knows that they deserve the same protections and benefits that he has. Norma is passionate about providing care to our elders. Through her union, she is fighting alongside other home care workers to be recognized as the skilled healthcare professionals that they are.
Woo! Working people are undervalued, underpaid, and underappreciated. So let those billionaires uptown have their Met party or whatever. Like, we're gonna do something way more fabulous down here.
I love it. I love all the protests against the Met Gala because these are the people we should be celebrating.
You wouldn't have the money you have if it wasn't for all of these people working hard day in and day out for your company. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it. Exactly. And pay these people more. I'm just so sick of it. You know why everyone is still saying eat the rich and F these billionaires? Because we're sick of it. You don't need to hoard all that wealth. You don't need to. It's disgusting. Pour back into the people that are regularly keeping your business functioning. Care about your community.
Care about people. Like, I just can't comprehend the greed behind these billionaires. Like, why do you think you need all that money? What are you doing with all that money?
Because they want the power. They want to be able to buy into whatever they want to buy into. Like we saw, Jeff Bezos isn't into fashion. And that's when you know the industry's dying. When you start seeing tech billionaires infiltrating systems, infiltrating industries that have nothing to do with them. They just want to acquire more power, more wealth. They want to be able to have more of a say in every sector of society.
They just want to monopolize on anything and everything. And I feel like that's why the Met Gala was shitty this year. Because I don't know, I'd have to do a little more research. But I think hopefully people pulled out of it or didn't want to be a part of it. I don't know. It's like, what? Like, we're just going to let Jeff Bezos buy everything? Fuck this guy. He can't even pay. How about you pay your workers?
I feel like some of the outfits reminded me of a past Met Gala, which I just looked into it, and I'm thinking of the 2018 Met Gala theme where they did heavenly bodies, fashion, and the Catholic imagination. I don't know. Some of it, I feel like, listen, sure, fashion is art and you can show up and represent it how you like. I was just like, this kind of looks like one of the old Met Gala themes that some of them showed up in. But also, the Catholic imagination. Tell me the Pope is in your pocket without telling me. Oh my god, I can't say these things because our channel will get like deleted. We just wanted to lightly touch upon, some anti-Met Gala events.
Right. We want to put more promotion towards actual artists and creatives who care about humanity and celebrate the right people.
Yes, I love that the employees of Amazon put on their own show because Jeff Bezos can afford to pay them all a livable wage.
And going on, we're back on track. Our videos are going back to flowing.
Are they?
They are, yeah.
When were we off the track though?
There were like one or two videos where we were kind of just bringing up random topics.
I will still do that.
No, but I feel like we're back to the bubble map of the theme. Going on to the economy and companies that care about the world, hopefully. In recent news, recent to the filming, Spirit Airlines has closed down. And let me just fact check this before I put out any false information.
We're losing affordable options to fly. We should be concerned because if we don't have an affordable option, then all of these other airlines are going to price gouge. I personally have not been inclined to fly lately for a multitude of reasons. But as we see, that form of transportation is quality-wise declining more and more because they're still trying to just cater to those that want to pay for a business, for those that want to pay for memberships, those that want to pour into their lounges.
Right. And it hasn't been completely confirmed. There were talks of the Trump administration looking to use Spirit aircrafts for military use. However, it hasn't been confirmed that that's the exact reason they shut down. They were already struggling financially, and they chose to liquidate all their assets. And it also says that they weren't able to secure a government bailout, which I think is connected. If they were probably trying to work some kind of agreement out with them, and they were probably like, well, if you give us some of your aircrafts, then we'll bail you out. That's what I'm thinking. Again, this is all like speculation at this point in time. But that's why they abruptly just shut down, and those are the reasons that are put out as of right now.
Well, it feels abrupt to the people, but this was probably months in the making. Like, I'm pretty sure they projected that they wouldn't be able to sustain much longer. We know that decisions are made and then they screw over the people last minute, but discussions and agreements have been made behind the scenes. We'll make you all believe that we're still a business, but we're gonna pull the rug out under you and be like, guess what? You no longer have that flight.
We bring up Spirit Airlines because there is a creator I found who is attempting to buy out Spirit Airlines, not by themselves, but with the help of the people, community.
A collective purchase. It's an airline paid by the people for the people.
And I have two videos that I want to show on this topic. First, I'm going to show you the creator who came up with this idea. So the creator, his name on Instagram is...
She can't read names for shit.
God. The creator's name is Hi There Hunter. And then he's also created a new page called Spirit 2.0.
I haven't seen the most recent updates. I was keeping up with it, but not in the last week or so.
We can watch the newest update after this.
Okay, I had a genius idea. Spirit Airlines just went bankrupt, right? I'm the guy that flew Spirit Airlines for 24 hours straight. There's more than 250 million individuals over the age of 18 in the United States. Now, if we took only 20% of them and paid basically the average fare of a Spirit Airlines flight, which is somewhere around $30 to $40, we could buy Spirit Airlines. This is a genius idea. We nationalize Spirit Airlines, owned by the people. Airlines going. We make a new airline. Let's buy an airline. I should make a Venmo for this.
So he does go on to create an entire website, and he's speaking with lawyers, and he's trying to legitimize this whole operation to make it possible.
I do want to read one comment before you click away. This person said, a nonprofit airline whose only purpose is to force lower rates from all airlines would go hard as F.
And this is something we need to be doing as a society and community. And this is what we mean when we're talking about community building. And we've talked about this in previous episodes too, where someone puts out a GoFundMe and everyone comes together to help that person raise money. And I think we have the power to do that with so many other things. Let's see an update on what's happening.
Of course, and I know there are going to be just as many people who are skeptical, and I know he did have a video where he was saying, why should you trust me, and, you know, answering some of those concerns, which ultimately you can only really get trust by giving trust, you know, so we're all stunting our own growth by being skeptical of one another. We do have to take risks if we want to trust one another to be a community that builds.
Right. It's a social experiment, and so far he's gained 327,000 followers. And it's funny, his bio is getting losers. We're gonna buy an airline, which he's definitely a millennial.
What's up, everyone? Hunter Peterson here, potential future CEO of Spirit Airlines here, and I cannot believe I'm saying this. We have the legal fund. We now have the opportunity to try and buy Spirit Airlines. There's no guarantee any of this is going to work. We're going to give it our very best shot, but we are now one step closer to all of us owning Spirit 2.0. Let's do this. You, me, all of us. Let's do this.
So this was 5 days ago from filming, so that's exciting. They've raised enough money.
Someone wrote, what does having the legal fund mean? And I'd love to see the comments replying to that.
He responded, it means that we can begin officially proceeding to put together a bid to try and buy Spirit. So obviously there's going to be other people out there now that Spirit has gone bankrupt that want to buy out that business. Because right now they're liquidating all their funds. So there's going to be some billionaire that's going to come along like fucking Jeff Bezos. They're going to try to be like, well, we'll give you the money, but now we own it. Like same with if just a normal person files for bankruptcy and is about to lose their house, anyone can say, well, I'll pay your mortgage, and they can either take the house from you or they can let you continue to live there.
So I know there's going to be a lot of people that immediately state all the cons or have a negative attitude towards this movement, right? Because there are skeptics out there. There are people who feel defeated by the world and feel like this is not going to be possible. This is a nice dreamer mentality, but that's not really going to happen. And I understand all of that, right? Like, this is one man trying to buy a business with a collective, right? And there's so much that goes into it that is beyond my comprehension. But I say all this to say, do I like the idea? Yes. Do I love that there are so many of us that collectively want to contribute and participate? Yes, because this is how we take our power back, right? People want to say, "Oh, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything." But then when there's a man like him, like this guy, there's this random, I don't know this guy, who's like, "Let's try to do this." And everyone's like, "Oh no, that's not going to work." We're at least trying, right? We're showing that we can come together and we would be willing to invest with him so that we do have an airline for the people. Yes, is it always going to be scary that someone can sell out and end up being a villain? Of course, but we still have to maintain hope that this is actually going to be an airline that is exactly what he says it is. It's an airline for the people, by the people.
Exactly. And you kind of just have to have blind faith on some things. And just even having this movement going is inspiring. And sometimes you got to, like you said, take the risk, take the gamble. Maybe he'll be able to give people their money back if it doesn't work out. I don't know all the logistics of that. I'm sure he's put up videos and he has a whole website. He has lawyers. So I'm sure there is answers to those questions.
Well, I know he did state that as of right now, no money is being collected. So there is an option to donate.
Right. These are just pledges.
Right. Just pledges to show interest. So we haven't moved on to that next step because he is actually doing the work to find out the logistics and the legalities behind it. And I'm hopeful. This has sparked some hope back into humanity.
Yes, and going off of what you're saying, I have another video. This is by the creator Amun Hero 22. I think there might be music on this one too, and if there is music and we have to mute the audio, so sorry. We also always link all videos below, but I like the point that this creator makes because it goes off of what you're saying.
Okay, so about Hunter Peterson, right? I feel like I am seeing a hack that I don't know if anybody else is seeing or talking about. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like he just revealed something to us that has nothing to do with Spirit Airlines. Run some things back, and then you tell me if you see what I'm seeing. I realize that in a little over 48 hours, Hunter Peterson was able to get $132 million in pledges in just a little over 48 hours from 0.096% of the current labor participation rate of adults inside of America. I'm not gonna bore you with the statistics. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop it right up here. You can screenshot it if you wanna take a look at it. That means less than 1% just amassed $132 million in a little over 48 hours. And this is why I feel like it's a hack that the actual 1% doesn't want us to know. This man did it off of a thought, a reel, and an idea. What if instead of 0.096%, we got that to collectively just 1%. So the website said that the average pledge was around $868, right? Now, maybe you don't have $868 just kicking around, but if you take that and divide that by 52 weeks, did you know for less than a Royal Crispy Chicken Sandwich, large Dr. Pepper, and an extra chicken nugget for Little Johnny in the back from Burger King, we could amass close to over $1 billion on an annual basis from the people, for the people, by the people. We got Hunter Peterson over here buying Spirit Airlines, and what if on the other side, we have a national non-for-profit that specializes in deep-seated work across the nation on actual community building. No red tape, no federal government saying, oh, we're gonna take your funding away from you. No, this is from the people, for the people, by the people. If you're interested in being part of this 1% and honestly doing this social experiment, just like this video and comment below.
And going off this video, I know there are nonprofits out there that try to do this. I know there are a lot of people out there who try to help their communities and try to raise money to help their communities. And there are creators out there who try to do this. So it's not a foreign concept, but I think more and more people are waking up to that and realizing through this video that's gained more traction than others that this is possible. And like we said, we've mentioned this in other videos before where people put out a GoFundMe and people come to help them. And I think more and more we need to realize as a collective that we have that capability to come together and help people pay their rent or buy their groceries and help one another out. Like, that is something we've spoken about so many times on this channel.
Absolutely. And like I said, I know there are going to be people out there who are negative, who feel like, oh, well, you don't deserve this over me, right? And have that individualistic mentality, right? Which is a hurdle a lot of people need to get over. And I do think it does take a certain type of leadership, right, to keep these movements going. There are probably plenty of hunters out there, right? But do they have like the resources and maybe even the finances to continue to keep the movement alive? Probably not. I mean, I don't know much about Hunter's background, but it seems like he does have resources to help him, you know, continue this movement and even make it more of a reality, right?
Yeah. He is a white man in America.
He is, right? He has lawyers. It seems like he has some sort of money. And it does seem like he has a collective mindset, right? He wants to give back to the community, and not everybody that has resources and has wealth has that mindset, unfortunately. So,
Right.
do I think there are plenty of people out there who probably want to do what he's doing but can't? Absolutely.
And there are also scammers out there, so you got to be careful. Like we're saying, like, can I trust this person with giving them my money? And that goes for nonprofits that exist too. There are some nonprofits out there where you're like, if I donate this money, is it actually going towards what I want it to go towards?
Absolutely. And I question that myself. Like, there'll be plenty of organizations I want to donate to, but I need them to start showing receipts. I need you to prove to us where our money's going to.
Right. Someone that comes to mind for me is Nipsey Hussle, who before he passed away was trying to give back to his community and trying to help people out and give out food and clothing. And I say that to say, like, hopefully Hunter is protected, not to be a conspiracy theorist. But unfortunately, it seems like there are times where there is someone who is trying to help their community and things happen. That's all I'm going to say on that. But
we can't give up hope. That's it. That's basically the message, right? Like, I know there are powers that be that don't want the people to have any sort of control, but unfortunately, the clash is upon us, right?
Right. Where that other creator just showed where he's like, well, why aren't we doing this? And it's like, because they're going to stop us, unfortunately. Like we're from New York, as we've mentioned a million times over, but you can't even swipe someone into, do they still do this, right? Well, now they've gotten rid of Metro cards, but when Metro cards did exist, if you try to swipe someone else in, you would get in trouble. Like, they would stop you and not let you swipe someone else into the train station.
I have a story that I was going to tell recently because I was having problems with my card and it was denying it on every turnstile. Like, I used my digital wallet and then I took out my physical card and it kept denying my fucking payments. And not that it wasn't because I was low on funds. I don't know what was happening, and I had to try different turnstiles, and I was going to be late for work, and I asked this gentleman, like, can you, because no one was sitting at the booth, because I was gonna go up to the booth and be like, hey, I've tried multiple times, it's denying my card. I asked the gentleman if he could open the door for me, and he said he can't. So I was just like, you ain't a real one. But I get it, like, nobody wants to be, they're scared, they're gonna ticket you $100, over $100 if you let someone in.
I'm saying, like, you're not even allowed to, like, pay for another person. Like, that's weird. Why can't, like, that doesn't make any sense. It's my money. Like, what are you talking about? Do they still do that? Am I making that up? That's a thing, right?
if there aren't always people that are monitoring the turnstile, so you can definitely pay for people.
Right, but if someone's there, they say something. I feel like I've seen that happen before.
Yeah, no, it has happened.
Okay. But that was just like a small point. But I also want to say, I wasn't sure if I was going to bring up this topic or not, but I noticed that in his bio for the Spirit 2.0 page, there's a link to help the affected staff of Spirit because hundreds of people just lost their job. But I bring that up to say that recently the creator, James Charles, is under backlash. You don't want to talk about this?
I really don't want to talk about that man, but you can briefly mention it.
I'm just going to briefly mention it because there are millions of videos where people dive into it. And yeah, we've talked about him before and his demise is coming. But this is like, maybe we'll do a whole video on out of touch influencers. Because apparently he received a DM from a Spirit Airlines employee who was asking him to share their GoFundMe and asking for money. And he went on this whole rampage telling her that she's a lazy bitch. And of course he got backlash for it because what the fuck? Like, you're an entitled piece of shit is what I want to say. And I just hate the mentality that rich people have, like the whole Kim Kardashian of it all, where she's like, seems like no one wants to work these days. Like, where they're like, just work harder. When these people have never had to work hard a day in their fucking lives. And I just bring that up because it's just so frustrating. It's just really frustrating. And like I said, maybe we'll do an entire video on these influencers because how are you that... I don't know what happens that you become that out of touch, but it's just insane. Like, he really is not using his platform for good, and we need to stop supporting people like that.
And he hasn't for years now.
For years now, and I just... Listen, again, call a spade, and when someone shows you their true colors, believe it. And the thing is there's like two types of terrible people out there, right? There are the terrible people who are really good at masking that they're terrible people. And then there are the terrible people who don't even try to fucking hide it. And that's James Charles. That man is just awful, just disgusting, just should lose all of his followers for many other reasons besides this. It's interesting enough that this is what's catching people's attention, but whatever it takes to get that man off of these platforms. But it's just like people are working hard and you don't, like, someone just got laid off, an entire company just got laid off. The job market is already so terrible these days, and now there are hundreds of more people who are now looking for a job in the same field. You think you think all these other airlines are just going to hire these people? No, they're going to be unemployed for a while.
Listen, I didn't deep dive into this story because I feel like I don't want to give these type of influencers any type of attention because I feel like he did this he created this controversy on purpose because he wants to stay relevant.
With the worst take ever. And again, like I said, there are some people who they're going to rage bait. And it's like, you already suck as a person.
And he's getting exactly what he wants. Attention. They thrive on attention. That's why that's why I don't want to talk about him.
A succubus is what he is. But I just hate the mentality that there are other influencers out there who've said similar things about working hard, and that pisses me off because I just want to go on a tiny rant of like, working hard doesn't always get you anywhere, unfortunately. Like, I know that may not make sense to some people, but I know some people who work their fucking asses off and work really fucking hard, and the system just is not designed to make them move forward. Like, some people are working really hard and they're never going to get a raise, they're never going to get a promotion because it's not set up for that. And it's this mentality of like, work hard, work hard, work hard. And it's like, some people are just running on a fucking treadmill and they're never going to actually get anywhere because, again, the system is not designed to make them actually go anywhere. and they're being brainwashed and conditioned to believe that they need to work this hard.
Let's go. Well said.
But yeah, like, it just really, it really frustrates me because I think we need to take all these influencers, put them in a boot camp. Remember we were talking about a boot camp in our last episode? Let's put them in the boot camp and go clean a fucking bathroom, public restroom for a week. Go serve some tables. Go work in customer service. Go work in retail. Like, go work an actual job.
It's so true. The thing is, there are people who have, like Mel said, worked their ass off for years, dedicated their life to a company, was loyal to a company, and then lost everything. Or has nothing to show for it. They're still struggling. They're gonna die with the memories of having to give their whole life, drain themselves just to put a meal on their table.
Right, and that just goes for these Spirit Airline employees. Like, they just lost everything. How are they gonna pay their next month's rent? Like, you think they're just gonna find a job tomorrow? That's how out of touch people are. Like, it's not. Some people can be unemployed for over a year and still trying to find something and can't, especially if you only have skill sets for one particular job. Like,
some people will have to start from scratch. They have to start anew. They have to find a different field, or they have to start from the bottom and work their way up. And like we said, even when they work their way up, it's still not enough. Because we're not in an economy that is working anymore. And Mel and I have mentioned this over and over again. Like, it's not working anymore for us, for the people, for the working class. It's not working. We're working for nothing.
And to think that some of these people don't have dreams and goals, maybe their dream was to be a pilot or a flight attendant.
But and it doesn't even need to be like a pilot or a flight attendant. Maybe they just wanted to work in the airport, because there are plenty of people who work in an industry that is adjacent to their passion, right? Like, right. You may not be in the position you want to be, but you're still passionate about the industry. Whew. We're getting heated.
I'm getting heated. I know we don't want to give that man attention, and I do also kind of think he did it to rage bait, and it's just like, again, you're already a piece of shit, so it's like, I don't know. He got his dreams to come true, and like, you're now just miserable, and it's just sad and pathetic.
And you're a creep. You're a predator. Don't ever forget that. We're never gonna forget that. Okay. All right. We are going to switch gears a bit to wrap up this episode.
Yeah, I'm pivoting, but it still has to do with the world and what we're living in, and we want to bring awareness to important topics, and we haven't really talked about politics in a while. I know we were talking about the economy, which is politics adjacent, but on important topics that matter to the world, not James Charles, who is doing fucking nothing for the world. I want to talk about a recent Supreme Court decision.
Oh, Lord. The thing is, like, there's so much to talk about, and, like, our channel isn't really niche.
We talk about recent events, but we're late on them. That's our channel.
We're late to recent events. We're fashionably late, okay?
What's the John Oliver show? Isn't that... Last week tonight with John Oliver. Okay, so ours is like last month today with the Sheehan sisters.
I did want to say, I do think people rush their opinions, right? I think we do need to take some time to like process, whether it be events, whether it be like news articles, whether it be like, you know what? I think we rush through a lot of our life, right? A lot of society, social media is so rapid, right? Which is why people's attention span is declining. But I do think we need to start taking a moment to like process information and then come on to the internet and share our opinions. Like that's what I was pondering about. I was like, you know what, maybe it's good that we are late to things because it gives us more time to formulate an opinion that isn't so rushed, right? We thought about it, we thought it over, and this was something we talked about with our book reviews where we felt like we were rushing to get the book done, which we still have the full month to read our book, but we felt like we had to get the review out immediately, but then we weren't taking the time to like fully process the book we just read.
And that's the thing. So like hopefully maybe in the future we'll have a better scheduling of uploading, but ultimately like we never want to rush any videos. We want to make sure what we're putting out, we agree with what we're saying, and like it's, like you said, well thought out, and we take our time with it, and we're not just rushing to like throw up a video. And yeah, I think people are like reacting so fast these days because they could just pick up their phone and be like, this is what I think, post, upload. And again, like there are certain things that it's like, okay, let's take some time to think about this, but also let's keep this discussion going. Why is it, oh, well, that was last week, who cares anymore? Whereas a lot of these things are still relevant, like the Spirit Airlines story. It's still ongoing. There's still going to be updates months into the future, like months, years in the future, if this actually takes off. So it's like people are running to like say their opinion on something, and the story isn't even fully developed yet.
Exactly.
But I did want to talk about the Supreme Court has gutted the Voting Rights Act, and I found a creator who is going to do a much better job at explaining what that is. And I just think it's important for people to know what's happening in the world.
Well, America specifically.
In our country, but unfortunately America is one of the...
America does affect a lot of other countries, and we're so sorry. We're so sorry.
This creator's name is Desired Legacy.
13 years ago, the Supreme Court began dismantling the Voting Rights Act of 1965. The law was passed because discrimination in voting, as the court called it, in South Carolina v. Kassenbach, insidious and pervasive evil marked by unremitting and ingenious defiance of the United States Constitution. In 2013, Shelby v. Holder, the court struck down Section 4, which was a coverage formula used to determine which jurisdictions were subject to preclearance. At the time of the VRA's passage, it was Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Virginia. The court did not strike down Section 5, preclearance, but without Section 4, there was no mechanism to determine which jurisdictions were covered. In 2021, Brnovich versus DNC, this case addressed the 1982 amendment to Section 2, which allowed voters to challenge laws that discriminate based on their effects, not just the intent. Here, the court held that Arizona's policies did not violate Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and the law was not enacted with a racially discriminatory purpose. And on Wednesday, April 29, 2026, at Louisiana versus Calais, the court addressed the application of Section 2 in redistricting that held that the challenged map constituted an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. Okay, what does all of this mean? In her dissent, Justice Kagan stated that the requirements imposed by the court now will effectively insulate any practice, including any districting scheme, said by a state to have any race-neutral justification, and that the court's changes eviscerate the laws. In 2013, Chief Justice Roberts admitted plainly that voting discrimination still exists, with Section 4 and 5 gone as of 13 years ago. Last week, Justice Kagan told us the court's decision in Calais renders Section 2 all but a dead letter.
So I also read about Tennessee, where Republican-led Tennessee divided Memphis, the only majority black district in the state, into 3 majority white districts to dilute black voices and give the GOP more congressional seats.
Yes, they're basically trying to break up Congress, right? You said Congress?
The districts.
The districts. They're trying to break up the districts so that the white is the majority. even though that's not the case anymore.
Right, right.
Here's a video from Tennessee, and I think this is going to be one for the books. It's going to be in history lessons and history books. And this is Brother Jones, who was on the Tennessee committee. Let me just make sure I'm getting his facts correct. He's a state representative for District 52 in Tennessee. And he's been heavily protesting since this ruling happened.
So today's the day that we see if multiracial democracy dies in Tennessee and across the South. Probably slept for 2 hours. My mind was just racing, thinking about what is going to happen today. It's going to be something that should disturb the nation, that the South is once again falling to the Confederacy. But I think history will judge us in this moment not by what we do, but by what we don't do. And I think that we should err on the side of action that stresses urgency and moral clarity. I think people want us to do things out of the ordinary, but we cannot allow this to go on unchallenged. Because what is happening, we have to dramatize for the nation. And so I don't know, I'm thinking to myself, am I going in here? What's going to happen? And, I'm willing to do something out of the ordinary, even if it costs me my position or costs me, being arrested. They're doing this with surgical precision to silence Black representation. There's an ancestral trauma to it of seeing a group of white men who feel like they have ultimate power and are willing to do whatever they must to maintain their control. My grandparents left the South during Jim Crow, left Tennessee, in fact, during Jim Crow, and went up to Chicago. And so they left that same terror of white supremacist violence and of white power structures that they're trying to reenact here today. So I'm tired, anxious, I'm angry, and I'm sad because we're mourning. I'm mourning Black because we're mourning the death of our democracy. And it's going to happen relatively quickly. I always remember John Losey says that when you see something that is wrong, that is unjust, that is unfair, you must find a way to get in the way and get in good trouble. So I'm thinking of all these civil rights elders, those who paid with the ultimate price their lives for the crowning jewel of the civil rights movement, which was the Voting Rights Act of 1965. At my children and grandchildren, I can say I did everything I could to stop this and to show them that we were dissenting, even if we didn't have the votes, but knowing that we're doing this for generations who are not even born yet. We will not go back. We will not go.
Unfortunately, since this, he has been removed from his seat as a representative. And I just wanted to talk about it because this is fucking important. This is, again, us going back and history repeating itself once again, and people want to sit there and act like voting doesn't matter, and it's like, if it didn't matter, they wouldn't be suppressing us. And it's just, it's devastating.
It's so infuriating. It's disgusting. This is why Mel and I keep saying that if you feel like you care about other people, specifically those that don't share the same skin color as you, then you would speak up.
Right, and this is what I would love to see influencers actually using their platform for. Because this administration is just stripping away rights left and right. They're taking it from immigrants, they're taking it from Black people, they're taking it from women, and soon we're gonna you know, and we talked about this when reading The Handmaid's Tale. Like, you're gonna wake up one day and you're not even gonna recognize the world you're living in, and you're gonna be like, how did we get here? So we just always want to bring awareness to everything that's happening. This representative, Justin, he is doing what he should be doing as a state representative. He's fighting for his people, and for them to remove him of his position, again, it's just disgusting, as you're saying. Like, he's doing what state representatives should be doing, and he's using his freedom of speech, freedom to protest.
And they removed him from his position. But you know what? I know this will not stop him from speaking out, and it's not going to stop the people who are against this administration and the people who want to see more progressive voices in our administration. We're going to show up, and the reckoning will come. That's what I firmly believe. Like, the reckoning will come.
I believe that too. And it's just sad that this is what our Supreme Court just keeps making these decisions, and it's designed to make us feel powerless, but we can't lose hope. And it's great to see that there are still people out there fighting. And you have to remember, like, this is what all the people who came before us that were on the good side of history were fighting for this, and we can't let all their work mean nothing. Sorry guys, we're looking at Justin Jones' page, and Haley Williams actually brought him out on stage at one of her concerts.
She has a song I recommend you all listen to. It's called True Believer, and I was going to read some of the lyrics because I feel like it relates to the situation where she says, they put up chain link fences underneath the biggest bridges. They pose in Christmas cards with guns as big as their children. They say that Jesus is the way, but then they gave him a white face so they don't have to pray to someone they deem lesser than them. And then the pre-chorus says, the South will not rise again till it's paid for every sin.
And Danny surprised me. Danny surprised me with tickets as an early birthday present. So we're going to see her again in September. Well, Danny's going to see her again. I'm going to see her for the first time.
Yes. And I'm glad that she platformed Justin. That's amazing. I actually, while we're on the topic of musicians, I was going to bring this up. I just didn't know what episode or if it, fit into the topics, but it actually does. Let me see if I can find it quickly, and then we're going to wrap up for the day. The topic I wanted to bring up, it was about this artist, Kacey Musgraves. I'll be honest, I know nothing about her whatsoever.
She's a country artist is all I know.
Yes, I don't listen to country music. If I do listen to country music, it's like still poppy and like, I don't know, mainstream, I would say. She's been popping. I'm sure she's been around for a while. I'm just saying news-wise, I've been seeing her name. But it looks like she let me read the article. So there were these three brothers. Wait, are they brothers? Yes. So there were these three brothers, the Gamezqualar brothers, Antonio, Caleb, and Joshua. They are mariachi musicians, and they were detained alongside their family by ICE at a scheduled court check-in, and their story sparked immediate backlash. So Kacey found out about this situation, and there was an update that the three brothers were released after public pressure over ICE detention, and she reposted the article and said, "Great, so come on the road with me." Musgraves has been a vocal Trump critic, but this move is more than a middle finger to the admin. She says she wants to spotlight Tahani music and mariachi. And she says, in this modern time that we're in, I really want to go an extra mile to really show the Mexican culture that I really deeply appreciate it, that I see it, and that it matters. And just to, I just want to look this up to confirm if they're going to be on tour with her.
We're ending on a happy note, yes?
Ending on a happy note, it says, in a Rolling Stone article, the brothers will support Musgrave May 3rd to May 5th. Okay, so it happened already at the Groon Hall in New Braunfels, Texas. I love that. Yes. And I bring this up because when we talk about privilege as white women, these are the examples we want to see other white women representing, right? Like you utilizing your privilege and your platform to highlight voices of color, right? And the more you can utilize your platform for those that are trying to be silenced, the more you are showing up for the community as a whole. And I love to see Haley like speaking out, and she had Justin on stage, and we see Kacey, who's from the South and probably deeply embedded in a lot of racism around her, but she chose to do the right thing and bring these brothers on tour with her and really give credit where credit's due, because she knows that a lot of this music was stolen from people of color.
Already just staying informed is important, because I just meet so many people who have no clue what's going on and don't even care to know, and that really upsets me. And it's more often than not white people, so it's just like, come on now, do better. And we're always gonna try our best to keep informing people as well, and spreading awareness and shining lights on people that are fighting for a good cause. And as always, we'll link everything down below. And I also just want to say, I don't like when people tell people to not be political, because I think we live in a democracy. So let's not forget that, and let's not lose that, and let's continue to care about the collective and human rights.
I'll never understand that statement, because we are politics. We are politics.
We are politics.
We are farmers. You know, we are politics, right? Like, this is what we live under.
This is the world. We are the world. We are the children.
We have to be actively participating. What do you mean, don't be political? What do you mean? This has to do with everyone's livelihood.
I know, I hate that when it's like a musician or an actor and they're like, stick to acting, stick to singing. It's like, God forbid someone have multitudes to them. Like, I'm sorry that you are miserable. And we're going to stop paying attention to the negative people, because it's like, you are unhappy with yourself and your own life. And I think it's usually the people that are on the wrong side that say that, because it's usually, I think this is my conspiracy and this is my theory on those people who say that. It's they want it to still be in favor of them and who they are. And then they realize that their favorite artist or their favorite actor doesn't agree with their morals and is actually caring about humanity, and then they're like, don't be political because they're a piece of shit. That's just my opinion.
I agree. I think that's everything for today's episode. Please come back again, because we have so much more we're going to talk about, and some more documentaries we might be watching on this channel.
I know there's already so much we said we were going to commentate on, and it hasn't happened yet, but just stay tuned. Always stay tuned. Always check in, see what's happening.
But we're going to get around to it. Just know that it will happen. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.